What's going on, YouTube? And welcome to the Roundtable, where we talk all things Detroit Lions. This is your host for tonight's Roundtable, of course, Mr. Micro Mike. And folks, we have a good one for you this evening. And man, I'm happy because JMO's back. But without further ado, let me get into these intros. First is the man who can win a game of Connect 4 in 3 moves. What up, Doe 313 JMO?
What's good? What's good, man? RIP Black Mamba. Let's get the show started.
Oh. Next is one half of the dynamic duo, and he is new to the Roundtable tonight. And most importantly, when he got into a fight with the knife lost. What up, Doe Andrew from Real Lions?
Hey, what up, Mike? Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, no problem. And lastly, for right now, when God said, "Let there be light," our next panel said, "Say please." What up, Doe, Mr. Luke G?
What up, though, ladies and gentlemen? Mike, I'm over here dying, letting hope my thing on mute because you got me dead with these intros, bro.
Hey, man, it's all about putting people alive into the dirt, man. That's what I do.
Yes, sir.
What is going on? Shade 21, Rich Law, Martel Melton, DMAP Zoom. Welcome to the Roundtable. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited because, damn it, it's Thursday night. Tomorrow's Friday, but tonight's Detroit Lions. So we're going to go ahead and get into it right now. And I'm ready to talk because I seen what Tony Gonzalez, the tight end, said. He said he is willing to work with TJ Hockenson. And, of course, Mr. TJ Hockenson accepted. JMO, how does that react for the Lions that TJ Hawkinson's going to get help from the great one?
Forget the Lions. I'm talking to these TJ Hockenson haters. If he was a bust, why would Tony Gonzalez want to help him? Please let me know. If he wasn't that dude, why would Tony Gonzalez even care about this man? Even though he's young, this is another grown man reaching out to another grown man just to help him succeed. But it's great for the Lions. I mean, never in a million years would I expect the greatest tight end ever to work with our tight end. I know how we feel about Ebron, but imagine if Ebron got that kind of treatment, what he could have been. So it's wonderful, it's great, and I'm very, very happy.
Oh, man, I am too. Having Tony Gonzalez be a mentor to our tight end can't get any better than that. Now, Andrew, what do you think about this news, and what's your thoughts about this?
Man, it's terrific. Tony Gonzalez is arguably the best overall well-rounded tight end in league history. And for him to come out and want to help TJ Hockenson, I'm ecstatic. I mean, Tony Gonzalez was always in the right place, in the right time, knew how to read the zones. He was a good blocker. I mean, the guy was just fantastic. And Hockenson has all the attributes to be an elite tight end in the league with Matthew Stafford. So if he can develop mentally with Tony Gonzalez helping him out, I think that would be fantastic for his growth.
And just like D-Map Zoom said, Tony would not waste his time with a bust, and that's for damn sure. And TJ Hockenson, man, he's gonna be really good for us. Luke G, what's your thoughts, man? The great one, the great tight end, is gonna be helping out TJ.
The biggest thing that we have to look at as Lions fans is the fact of how highly Tony Gonzalez spoke of TJ Hockenson. And the biggest thing that he took out of it was he says that he's already ahead, not my words, Tony Gonzalez, he's already ahead of the curve. He's going to be a great player. He was like, yeah, there are a few things he got to work on. But what I think happened that many people may not be focusing on is Tony Gonzalez saw himself in TJ Hockenson. People forget that Tony Gonzalez's first 2 seasons was played with drop passes, was played with running the wrong routes and having mistakes. But they stayed with him, they worked with him, and then he clicked. And he said what happened was the thing that set it off that click was that he was like, either you're going to play football the way it's going to be played, which was said to him by his brother, either you're going to play the way you're going to be played or quit. And that was what set him off. And when he saw TJ Hockenson doing all these things, he was so in love with it. He said that his first season was more than a success. And it's the same thing I've been arguing to people that, look, he did the same thing and Tony Gonzalez did in his first season in less games. And that's with him not even being a mainstay of the offense. So what does this mean for the Detroit Lions? Nothing, because the coaching staff got to get the ball to him. They have to find a way to make him a part of the game plan. They have to find a way to make him a part of what we're doing going forward. But what this means for TJ Hockenson is it's going to get even more uglier than it already is.
It's so interesting that he literally had the bet, and you talked about this throughout the season. He had a better season than Tony Gonzalez, and look at who wants to teach him. Tony Gonzalez himself. That's fantastic and a weird coincidence. And I'm starting to kind of think you're Nostradamus, man. So tell me what you're betting.
Just paying attention to the trends.
Tell me your score of the Super Bowl so I can go ahead and bet it in Vegas, and we'll be good to go here. But when you think of Tony Gonzalez, the information that he can give this young guy is invaluable. The vision that he can tell how he defeats all pro players when he was on the field, he can give that information to TJ Hockenson because TJ is still young, and just understanding some things that maybe it will slow down for him when the game comes. Invaluable. I'm very excited about that. Tony Gonzalez was one hell of a player. He's a pro on and off the field, and it can only help TJ Hockenson in that facet. Now, I wish you would help Jesse James too. Jesse James
don't need help. He need the ball.
That's true.
Even though I'm never going to be upset at the Jesse James signing because it's not his fault. We never threw him the ball. He never ran plays, and we didn't put him in the game. So how can you expect him to live up to the contract if you don't even give him the opportunity to live up to it?
Hey,
Great.
Yeah.
Right, and this whole Tony Gonzalez just circles back to why I hate some Lions fans, man. They always think our management is wrong. They always think we make mistakes in the draft. And, they basically, they destroyed TJ Hockenson in his rookie season. And it was because he was a tight end. And I just never understood that. And, if you know football, our offense wasn't surrounded around. Like, it was plays early in the first 4 games. TJ was open. Well, and Stafford wasn't throwing him the ball. Who was he throwing it to? Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay. Why? He has more trust in those guys. And it was, even after the first 4 games, I remember, I can't remember what game it was, but I watched TJ Hockenson get open on 3 straight plays, and he didn't get the ball. I think it was when the backup quarterbacks was playing, but this man was wide open, and he just didn't get the ball. So what can you do when you're not getting the football? And you look at all of our weapons. I mean, it's gonna be hard. That's why we got to find a way to use our weapons like Kansas City does.
Oh man, look, they're always open. TJ was always open. Seen it in person. You have as well. It's a beast. Andrew, do you agree that Jesse James? What the hell, man? They need to feed this guy the ball. Even when we had wide receivers out left and right, he still did not get the damn ball.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta find the open guy, right? And as much as we preach about we need good tight ends, and that's why we drafted Hockenson, that's why we brought James in. I mean, they don't use them, they don't utilize them like they can. I mean, why don't they go look at when the Patriots had Hernandez and Gronk, or when the Eagles had all their tight ends? Like, there's teams that are utilizing their tight ends and they're playing just like top receivers, so when you have a team made up of Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, you have Amendola in the slot, you have James, you have Hockenson on top of your running backs, like, why are you not spreading the ball around, And it seemed like all our passes were going to our outside wide receivers. I don't know if necessarily James needs 8 targets a game, but you should be splitting those targets to your tight ends as well, and not just your wide receivers, because the tight ends, they spread the field. They can play down the seam, and that's what opens up everything else, So they need to just find a way to incorporate their tight ends. So I completely agree with J-Mo in that aspect.
And you really know, because you played the quarterback position. You understand the responsibility of spreading out the weapons. You do that, it's going to open up the field. And it's always good to get an individual that can actually read in what they need to do. It's very important that we do that.
No, but like when I think about Kansas City, they have as many weapons as ours. The only difference between our weapons and Kansas City is their weapons are faster. That's it. Other than that, I'm not going to call TJ Hawkinson elite. There's no way in the world he's Travis Kelce, but he's more than capable. Got Jesse James, Kenny Galladay, you carry on when he's healthy, Danny Amendola. Like, if Andy Reid had this offense, and it's not like the offense looked bad when Stafford was healthy. It was great. But everyone would be utilized. And I think that's something that Darrell Bevell has to figure out. And I think that's the main reason we fired that tight ends coach.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely something that was going wrong there, because it wasn't just when Matthew Stafford was quarterback. I mean, we've seen it throughout the whole season. It just, they weren't getting fed enough, and it was frustrating. I know we talked about it a lot on the round table, and hopefully this season, this is something that we can look forward to. And you talk about how we got a new tight ends coach. We also today just found out that we got a new coach of the linebacker, and that is Tyrone McKenzie. And we got a new linebackers coach because guess what? Our linebackers were definitely subpar this year. What up, though, General View? Luke, what do you think about this hiring of the new linebackers coach?
I think position coaches matter when it comes to coaching on anything. But my issue with the hiring of the coaches was he really your first choice? And I don't know if he's going to make that much of a difference for our linebackers, because let's just be honest, like, whoever we was going to take to be a position coach was coming in here on a like, if this thing don't work out, I'm back on the street. So for me, I'm not going to get too caught up in who we picked up in terms of that coach, but for a position, because to me, I think that we still have to be able to put the players in the right position within the scheme. And to me, I don't see us doing that. So if we can go out and hire Ray Lewis to be the linebacking coach, can he teach somebody something? Yeah, but if you're not putting them in position to make plays, it don't matter. Just like you just said with Jesse James. So I think good. They put in they little coaching staff out, but overall, I'm not happy, nor am I sad about who we picked up.
See, in a sense, I think it's a good idea, because what we had going on there initially was trash, and I don't think it can get much worse. So that's why I like it.
Mike, I thought the same thing when I was like, we gotta get somebody to get us over the hump. That Caldwell can't get worse than this. We only beating losing teams. It got worse, Mike.
3-12-1. I have a feeling that if we got worse than that, we're going to be a first pick in the draft. So either way, it's a win.
All right, I'm with you.
Folks, we finally got the next member of our panel. He got on. He was in traffic because he lives in Chicago. And guess what? It is 6 o'clock there right now, and that is a lot of traffic. But he is the man who can touch MC Hammer. What up, Doe Real?
What's up, guys? I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be reunited with my co-host, Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what up, bro?
Thanks for having us on, guys. That's a fact. I could touch him all day.
Oh, man. Oh, let's get it.
Okay.
Welcome back, man.
Since you just got on here, what is your initial thoughts of the new coach that we got, the linebackers coach? Is it good? Is it a bad thing? Is it indifferent?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you get these positional coaches, it's kind of like it's always either like an internal hire or somebody that you never heard of before. So this is no different to me. I've never heard of this guy before in my life, but I do appreciate the things that people have been saying about him. And obviously the Titans linebackers played phenomenal this year. And also Mike Vrabel's system seems to be pretty similar to Patricia, so it should be an easy transition for him. So I think it's big. Bigger than a no-name guy from within the organization. Like if they just upgraded somebody like one of our interior linebacker coach, if they upgraded him, I'd be much more upset and not as optimistic because our linebackers played like booty this year. So I feel like they're going to play much better.
Yeah. Hey, look, man. Again, we played fairly bad. So I'm happy that it's something new. JMO, I love your opinion. We always agree. Give me your thoughts, and I have a feeling it will be like me.
I'm gonna need Luke to take those glasses of pessimism that he's drinking and just put them down. Like
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I have tried. I really have.
Luke was like, it don't matter. We have no hope. We will suck. Like, God.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen. Okay, hold on. Really quick. Let me just clarify a little bit. All I'm saying is this, J-Mo, is if you are a coach of any sort and you're coming to a team where the person is on the last year of their deal, and the argument is make the playoffs or you out, are you really going to get your first choice for those positions when there's no chance that they're going to be here longer than that season? That's all I'm saying. And so
I don't really know about that because this guy is an amazing linebackers coach. I've been doing research. I've seen this one video where he was doing this drill where he was forcing his linebackers to tackle him. I'm like, what in the world am I watching? This guy's the real deal. This is probably the best
I hope you're
coach.
right.
This is probably the best coaching signing that we've done all year, and I'm ecstatic about it because just like Mike said earlier, the Titans linebackers were very, very good. And I think he can come here and teach our linebackers a lot of ways, especially guys like Jelani Tavai. I think it'll be very big for him. I think this was an amazing sign. Like when we signed him, I'm like, bro, we the Lions. We ain't signed him. Stop playing. But this guy is the real deal. I'm almost wondering how the Titans could let him go. I'm kind of confused about that.
Look, I am happy that Jamo is back. I am happy because now I got a partner to defeat the narrative of Luke G.
Oh, one more thing, man. Shout out to Vast Starwin in the comments and Funky Nuts in the comments, my boy General View, Rich Law, everybody, man.
They call me the new Mike Valenti, man. Come on, bro.
That's tough.
Come on. I'm being objective, man. Y'all want me to just lie to y'all, man. I can't do it.
But look. Just because you don't think you're lying don't mean you're not being pessimistic.
I agree.
Robo Luke.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Hey, I drove under a bridge, man.
And Robo Luke once again.
T-Pain's in the chat.
Auto-tune, baby.
What about now?
Go ahead and speak.
Better?
Let's see.
Is that better?
A little bit better.
My bad, man. Listen, I am driving home, people. I'm almost home. No, I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I really am not. I'm not finna. I did my research on the guy. I checked into it. I can care less about the idea of what the linebackers did for the Titans because I think that's Mike Vrabel, a guy who played linebacker, a guy who played in the system, and he's shown that he has a better grasp of it because he adjusted it enough for his talent. I don't think our coaches is doing that, and him coming in is going to make a difference if they don't put him in the best position to perform.
And I feel like our coaches weren't doing that. That's why they all got fired.
I don't know how a tight end coach is blamed for the ball not getting to the tight end. I don't, when you firing the chef because of the food and all that type of stuff. I mean, it's just there's somebody who's all that.
No, I'll agree with you there. But the way our tight ends play, he had to go. I'm sorry.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. Again, I humbly concede.
And you know what, man? Again, man, I would hire myself over what we had before, and I don't know nothing about linebackers. So that just showed you how bad the situation was. Now
And
I'm
I
reading
played it.
and
I
you got
played
beat by a
linebacker.
female.
Yeah, I did get.
Now-
I got hit by. I did get hit by a female. That was when they tried to have me play a little running back, and that's when I realized I'm not meant for offense. I'm just a defensive guy.
Oh,
'Cause-
that's what it was.
Yeah,
We
I
got
want-
Pride Time B in the chat. Shout out to Pride Time B. What's good, bro?
Yeah, I was ready to scrap that one. The fight was on for me, but yeah.
What up, though? JT Sports and Tactile, welcome to the chat. Also, folks, we have on here the newer YouTuber when it comes to Detroit Lions. It's real Detroit Lions fans. If you have not subscribed to their channel, I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. But I went and posted their link in the description right there. Go ahead, click on it, subscribe, jump right back in. Also, JMO, if you have not subscribed to JMO by now, then you're living under a rock, and I'm very, very questioning your human ability to live, because he has been on here forever. Same with the Luke G. If you have not listened to Luke G's video that he did last night, a live stream, it is a must listen to. He got on there, an individual, a newer YouTuber who actually coached some of the with some of the Lions coaches. I think it was the defensive coordinator Unlin. It was a great, great interview. It's about an hour long. When you're done with this, jump on there. It's a must listen to. Also, there's 35 in the chat. Hit that like button so we can get this video to go out there and defeat the legacy media. Now, I seen in the chat, Calvin Johnson, Megatron, Calvin Johnson. And I'm going to throw this to Luke G really quick because he'd been wanting to talk about the Calvin Johnson situation with his interview that he did. Now, Calvin Johnson kind of threw some dirt on some Detroit Lions organization, and he kind of brought it back up again. So what's your thoughts on that, Luke?
I'm gonna need Calvin Johnson to have a moment to chill the hell out. Here's my problem. Every question asked does not mean you need to take a shot. When you're taking a shot like that, it starts to make it look like you just bitter. And if you are bitter, my bad. If you are bitter, I don't even know what happened, but I took care of it. I know, right? It's one of them things where Calvin Johnson to me is spending too much time trying to get at the Lions. Now, did he say some things that was intriguing? Yes, but why? It's over. It's done. If you hated him so much, just simply say, I hate the Lions. Do not ask me no questions about them. I ain't gonna never say nothing good about them and move on. I'm getting sick of this, okay? It seems like almost every week that he's coming out with something. And the truth is this. He could have a valid point, but it's just coming off like the angry ex-girlfriend who mad that you moved on and got somebody who can do what you do. That's what it feels like. And I just feel like at this point, it's like, man, Calvin, you can't keep doing this. He's talking about like, oh, I didn't realize how different things was until I went to other organizations helping their receivers out. And I'm like, the food that they eat is different. And he's like, the Fords got a Ford company to run. So I guess that's why they don't care. They're not really worried about the money. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just, I think he needs to move on. I think he needs to move on and stop it. If you don't like the Lions, don't talk about them. You didn't hear Barry doing all this extra talking when he left, and I think Calvin should take a page from Barry and ignore the Lion name. When they ask questions about the Lions, just be like, I don't play for them no more.
Well, Barry ain't doing that because Barry a goat. When you're a goat, you don't move that way. Everyone knows, right? Everyone knows that Calvin Johnson is my favorite player in the Lions uniform. And I'm gonna tell y'all today, not no more. I'm sorry. And that's a big deal coming from me, man. Like I love Calvin. I'm sick of this man.
We defended him, me and you.
Right. We defended him with the money thing. And to me, this is multi-layered, so give me a second. first off, you know what I think his biggest problem is right now. I'm gonna say one word: Galladay. That's his problem. We don't need you. And now we got another guy. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be better than Calvin Johnson, but he's doing things that Calvin didn't do in his uniform in his first few years. Like, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be better than Calvin. That's ridiculous. But we don't need you. And my issue is the stuff he was talking about was after he retired. Bob Quinn got hired in 2016. He left in 2016. Bob Quinn got here. Bob Quinn got here and he was just like, make a train. Like, what in the world is going on up in here? Just like Chris Rock from Rush Hour. He like, no, man, we got to get some nutritionists. We got to fix this place up. And then the next year, Rod Wood invested $100 million into the stadium. Like, so what are you talking about? You obviously, for reasons we know, you haven't been here in years and you really don't know what's going on. Like, I'm at Fort Field. Y'all know I work there just for fun, literally. Dude, it's amazing in Fort Field. Like I said, he got a nutritionist. He built them new lockers. He built a lot of stuff for the players. I already mentioned what Rod Wood did. And he is the bitter X. And when the bitter X sees Stafford throwing Kenny Galladay, I think that affects him because he realizes this team don't need me no more. When we lost Barry, fell off a cliff. Lose Stafford, fall off a cliff. Lose Calvin, have a great season. And make the playoffs. Like, that's what we really did after he left. We made the playoffs. So, I just think he's very upset. And I'm sick of it, honestly, because Lions still have some flaws, but I feel like when it came to the way we treat our players, we'd invest a lot in that. I remember we fired our strength and conditioning coach, and then we built a whole new weight room. Like, I just don't like this, man. I can't believe I'm saying the words I'm saying because Calvin was literally my favorite Lion, but not no more, man. I just can't. And I can't take all of these shots that he's sending and they're not hitting because a lot of the stuff just isn't true. Oh, I went to a different team and, it was all good over there. Man, bro, you wasn't here when we got Bob Quinn, who's the best GM, I would say, in Lions history, no matter what people think. So you weren't here when we really changed. Like I said, I'll say it the third time. Rod Wood and Mrs. Ford, who you said they only care about cars, $100 million into the state. $100 million. I'm done, man.
He needs some milk. That's what he needs. Man, real. What I heard you in there. You said facts. What do you think about this?
Yeah, man, J-Mo, I 100% agree with you. I've always been of the belief, like, I understand that teams take care of their players, and, like, once you're part of the organization, you're a part of the family. And when you're a big player like Calvin Johnson, you're putting butts in seats, you're getting jerseys sold. So I get his standpoint, but listen, man, you signed a contract. You get what I'm saying? You signed a contract and then retired. You're so mad about them asking for money back, but, like, that's how things work in the world. This is capitalism. That's how it works in every job, everywhere. So I always had that mindset. But I think that one thing, J-Mo, that I think you didn't hit on, the one thing that really probably pissed him off is that the Colts let Andrew Luck keep all of that money when he retired. So I bet you Calvin Johnson looked at that, and that was a significantly more money than we were asking for back from Calvin Johnson. And I think that that really pissed him off as well. But no, I agree. I think that he's seeing the success we're having and stuff like that. And you're right. He wasn't here when Bob Quinn came in and made all these changes. Like, the one example that he gave was that the Detroit Lions didn't have like a nutritionist there for the players, and they got that the same exact year that he retired. So I mean, it's tough to say because we're talking about Calvin Johnson in the viewpoint of when he was still on the team, back when, like, Jim Schwartz was around, Jim Caldwell was around. So right now we're looking at it through a different viewpoint because now we've been with Bob Quinn for a little while now, and it's been different for a little while now. So, but he hasn't been with the team. He hasn't been coming around the organization, so he wouldn't know. So him talking his crap is getting irritating at this point for all of us, and we just want him to come back, and we want him to be like integrated into this organization, into the family again, just like Barry did. And like, man, it just seems like he's digging a further and further path away from the Lions. And I want him back. Like, Megatron, man, we love you, man. Just come on, just stop with this petty shit, man. Come on, you have enough money in the world. Just stop.
And what is irritating me the most about all of it is, that I generally, because I was anti-pay him money, but it's hitting a nerve with me when I'm like, you didn't see Barry doing this, yet you're going to take a different route. Every chance somebody interview you, hey, Calvin, how you doing today? Lions, man, it was a rough time over there. Hey, Calvin, what you eating for dinner tonight? Man, the Lions, they let me have their cleats. It's like, bruh, everything. Hey, happy birthday, Calvin Johnson. Them Detroit Lions, let me tell you. Come on, man. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But go ahead, Mike.
Man, that's a good comparison. That is absolutely good. Calvin, man, Megatron. You're talking about how Detroit was bad. You practiced with the Raiders, and their damn stadium was a baseball field.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man. Andrew, what's your thoughts about this?
Man, I mean, I feel like you guys hit the final nail in the coffin. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, Calvin Johnson was one of the most electrifying players, of the whole freaking decade. But at the same time, if you take away that aspect of it, nobody would be even listening to him, because his comments are ridiculous. The only reason why people are hearing him out because he's Calvin Johnson. I mean, you're talking about a team that's nowhere near the image of where it was when he was playing, so like we have a new GM, new head coach. There's nothing that's the same. The only thing that's the same is that Stafford is still on the team. I don't think there's any other player or any other coach or anybody there's literally nothing that's the same besides Stafford is there. So, he's kind of like beating a dead horse, like everything's changed and you're gone, so like you can't be mad, and you can't be mad about your money, like the fact that they took the money away, like it's in the contract, you signed it. That's what it is. You can't be mad about that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
no, what upsets me though is where
he said a lot.
Where is this coming from? Calvin Johnson was the most humble player on the team. All of a sudden, you Mr. Bitter with a stick up my what. He needs to find some peace and some solace. He says he's happy in retirement, but it feels like if somebody mentions the Lions, he just gets his emotions all out of whack and just, finds a way to talk smack. You can't say anything good about the Lions at all.
It's starting to become kind of creepy, like the stalker on Facebook or something. Like when I have dreams at night, I dream about some bad stuff. He dreams about the Detroit Lions. Yeah. Like, dude, just chill out, man. Just let it go.
Smoke some of that weed, man.
Right.
He bought a dispensary. Smoke some of that weed and chill out, man. Come on.
Absolutely. Yes.
It just seems like to me that, like, that money hurt him, and it because now he's interviewing a whole lot more than he was when he was with the Lions. And he's trying to take any chance he get. And then even Takeo Spikes, he even said, like, well, I can tell you there's some things going on with Cincinnati, but I would love to hear yours. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're being egged on to give this stuff. And the first thing he brought up was, I go to other organizations and the food that they eat is different than the food that we was eating. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you don't got to put nothing in your mouth. Y'all had options, okay? It's not like they just said you gonna eat this. You eating peanut butter and jelly today. He act like they was getting bologna sandwiches or something. And I'm like, what is going on with this? And it's frustrating for me because it's like, if you are not about the Lions or anything like that, cool. Just say that, be done with it. But you haven't offered anything, and I believe Andrew pointed out, he's beating a dead horse. He'd go somewhere else and beat something else, and he'd probably be a little bit more relaxed. And this is ridiculous.
You know,
Yeah, I love
that
it,
actually
Luke.
could be true. Maybe Calvin's got CTE, and that's a big issue. I'm not saying for this, but maybe he does have some issues. I don't know, man. But
All right, chill out. Come on.
he needs to chill. He needs to chill out, and just like JMO said, just let it go, man. Let it go. You complain about food. I work at a hospital. I eat at the hospital food. Enough said. So it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Interesting, and I keep hearing this. I heard it again and again and again, so we got to talk about it. Dan Orlowski did an interview, and they asked him why should the Lions draft Tua, and he explained no, why we should not draft Tua. This question keeps going around. Tua. JMO, should we draft Tua?
All right, man. I'm gonna say this again, and I remember I had a argument with Man Beast because apparently some Lions fans he was talking to basically said if we had the number 1 overall pick, they wouldn't take Joe Burrow, and he was very, very upset with that. And with Tua, I feel like it's the
Hey,
it's the
JMO, I
same
see
way.
you.
Hey man, you can see me all you want, bro. Like I'm always here. See, I ain't sitting here in my drawers, but I literally got a Stafford shirt on. I just realized, but but with Tua and Joe Burrow, the reason I'm not taking those quarterbacks is I feel like you come into the Lions, you have to kind of be like Stafford. When I say Stafford, you got to be some generational number 1 overall, number 1 in high school, number 1 in college type quarterback. Somebody like Trevor Lawrence. Now, you telling me Trevor Lawrence, I'm perfectly fine with that because I think he's that generational type crazy quarterback. And I'm not saying Joe Burrow or Tua won't be very good. I think both of them actually will be very good. But will they be a better? My thing is, will they be better than Stafford? And I just can't say that. And when it comes to his injuries, I'm not trying to take a quarterback that has a hip injury when you literally need your hips to throw the football.
Don't forget the shoulder. Don't forget
ask-
the shoulder.
Just
Keep
ask
going.
Dak Prescott about that.
I love that dance.
Like literally the most pivotal thing in throwing the football besides your arm is literally your hips. That's the only way you can throw a football besides your arm. So, and then I'm thinking about what happened to Stafford his first 2 years. Injured. Main reason I don't want Tua is because I'm 100% confident whether it's year 3, whether it's year 1, whether it's year 4. He gonna get hurt. He gonna get hurt. He gonna get hurt. He gonna get hurt. A different team, maybe he won't, but the Lions don't know how to protect quarterbacks. David Blau and Jeff Driscoll were a mobile quarterback, and they still was on the ground. I just don't understand Lions fans. Like if you want us to get a quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, not Tua, not Joe Burrow, that guy, because it takes a guy that special to elevate a franchise this bad. And Stafford, I think Stafford would have done it if Jabba Best didn't get hurt, but that's another conversation. But this whole Tua thing it's just stupid, man. You really think Tua's gonna come? Like Tua might last 6 weeks. Like, come on, it just makes no sense. And then he's an injury prone. I just don't. He's been injured every single year.
Injury prone does not work with the Lions. We have known this year in and year out. The best ability is availability. And our team is injured all the time. And the last thing we need is to have a quarterback that's injured. I talk about this a lot. This team is in win now mode. You're not going to win now with Tua, period. You're literally, if they're in a rebuild mode, we can talk about that. But this is not the case when it comes to this team. Luke, Tua, give the answer. And we have to address it because it's constantly being talked about every single day.
Excuse me. No. I mean, let's stop this. Okay? Listen, I'm not being funny about it or anything. It's just the reality. You cannot take that particular quarterback at all. I'm going to tell you why. Even if you bring him in and you have him sit behind Stafford, here's the problem. If this season does not go well, You're now asking a new coaching staff to come in and have to work with a quarterback that they did not pick. Don't believe me? Ask Kingsbury, and that's why Josh Rosen ain't there no more. Okay? So that's one problem. Two, we are not fortitude the right to get luxury picks when you are on a mandated you must make the playoffs or you're gone. We're not fortitude the right to have anybody come and sit. So, am I concerned with Matthew Stafford's back? Yes. But here's my question. What would be the point of bringing in somebody who cannot contribute to you this year? Or you bring in somebody who not only can contribute to you this year, but can contribute to you next year, and it don't matter who the coach is or coach is not, they will be able to adjust in all those different systems. So to me, to take Tua, and it ain't just his hip, he's got shoulder, he's had hand injuries, he's had a leg injury, ankle, he's had some injuries. If you're going to take this guy, let him sit. I'm with J-Mo. He going to be hurt. And I think you got to look at it from this standpoint. With the way that they've been doing our quarterbacks here, 45, 50 times passing the ball, he's going to be sitting back there. Either he need to learn how to run, or they got to invest in a strong line in front of him. Either way, this ain't the year to play this experiment and stuff. It's not. And with Tua, a guy that I do like, let's not forget, Tua struggled before he even got hurt. And that was with a Alabama team that was pretty solid. So I just look at it and I say it doesn't make sense for us to take the quarterback there, because if we just patient, we'll be able to get the quarterback that works for us. We don't have to sit there and use a pick that high, whether it's 3, 5, or 7, on a quarterback when we got bigger glaring holes and problems. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now, the general view says, what if Miami wants to trade us all their first rounders for Stafford? Here's the situation.
So, what do you mean?
Yeah, I was just about to say this. I would be sold with that. But then you got to understand that we would pretty much be in a rebuild mode.
Wait, how many first rounders Miami got?
Three.
God damn.
But yeah, I would be sold with that. But then you'd have to understand we're not going to win next year. That's pretty much. I mean, you're having a rookie quarterback. It's extremely difficult, and which would be fine to me. I'm not sure I would take Tua though as the quarterback. I may take Herbert. The injury does worry me, and I think Herbert has a lot of good skills as well in that sense. Andrew, what do you think about Tua in the quarterback situation when it comes to us drafting him?
Dude, the first thing I think of is when you're drafting a quarterback in the first round, what are you looking for? You're looking for that quarterback to come in day one and boost your offense. Are we a team that needs our offense boost? No. We were a top 10 offense when Stafford was in. So what does that tell me? First of all, we don't need a quarterback.
Top 5, actually.
You said what?
I said we was top 5, actually.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I just rounded it a little bit down to just, help the case out, right? But like, what was wrong? We weren't able to run the ball. We didn't do that great on defense. And by not doing that great, that's a compliment because we actually played awful on defense. So what is drafting a quarterback going to do for you? I don't even care if we did get Joe Burrow. You're telling me he's going to take you from what, top 5 to the number 1 offense? Even if he does, what does that matter? You know what I'm saying? Because our defense is allowing 40 plus points every other game, so taking Tua would be a huge mistake for multiple reasons. The only way taking Tua would be a good option is that if you plan to trade him for either other players that have been in the league and are just, really good, or you plan on trading him to another team like Miami and taking their picks or something like that, just to guarantee, that a trade will happen. But I mean, I agree with J-Mo. If you really want a quarterback, I think you wait and you get Lawrence next year, because if we don't get it done this year, it's the perfect scenario, then we won't have a cap hit with Stafford next year. And most likely if we don't have a good season, we'll have a very top, high pick in the draft, and we should be able to get Lawrence at that point. So, I mean, all things are just saying it would be idiotic to take Tua,
No, the most reason to be idiotic is because we a $30 million cap hit.
That too. That's exactly what I'm saying, though. You know, so
$30 million.
You might as well ride Stafford out and let him play, do his thing, and if it doesn't work, honestly, everything's going to change. We'll probably lose our head coach, our GM. Stafford will probably be gone. Like, they're going to tear it down. So you might as well, play for this season and draft a defensive player.
Yes, the idea that we're trading Stafford, folks, that's completely bull. 30 million cap hit, or I think it's like 32 million. And that's just getting rid of Stafford. Then you have to get another quarterback in here. You're literally going to give one half of the cap to one guy because one guy would leave, one guy would come in. Yes, you'll be sporting a team full of scrubs and a quarterback that's not as good as Stafford.
Nope.
That would result in an epic fail, and that would be a Matt Millen type deal. Real, what's your idea with this Tua or any quarterback in that matter?
Yeah, guys, look, man, we need a guard. We need a D tackle. We like, how many positions do you want me to go through? We need a cornerback. We need probably a safety. We have holes all throughout the team. We need a slot receiver. We need everybody. We need everything. I don't understand how anybody can look at our team and say, "Oh yeah, we need a quarterback. That'll definitely do it." Unless you're in rebuild mode right now, and we know that with Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn here another year, we know that they're on the hot seat. What idiot in their right mind would possibly know that they're on the hot seat and they need to win now, and they're like, "All right, hit the rebuild button." It makes no sense. I don't understand this kind of viewpoint at all. And I see the headlines. They're like, of course, Darren Orlovsky is defending Stafford. He was his backup, blah, blah. No, he just has a freaking brain, dude. I don't understand how anyone can think we should draft Tua with the number 3 pick. I don't get it at all.
No, it's about as unimaginable as these people who are in the chat and not giving us these likes. Let's get these likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's get those thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the Real Lions Fan, this duo, this dynamic duo, and I'm not talking Batman and Robin. They out here. They showing you what they about. Subscribe. You're gonna miss something if you don't. But get those likes up. Let's get them going. Get them high. And keep it coming. I think Tom Capone made a very good point earlier where he said, we don't even know what kind of coach Patricia is. Why are we even talking about quarterbacks? I mean, he want to see what the scheme looks like with the players in it. But to me, the scheme is so flawed. And I had this debate with one of the subscribers, and it was a good, intelligent one. But I told him, I said, any head coach who does not come in, evaluate his talent, and adjust his scheme around the talent that he have until he get what he needs, is not a good coach. Mike Tomlin, when he took over the Pittsburgh Steelers, he left the defense as it was without bothering it for the longest until it wasn't working no more. Then he switched it, and he got the people he needed to switch it. That is what good coaches do. And to me, to come out and decide that, you know what, here's the thing, like Real said, here's the thing. Yep, get the quarterback. That'll fix all our problems. Y'all see what happened. Stafford left. We put other people in. They made him do the same thing Stafford did, throw the ball 400 times, don't attempt to run. You putting running backs on snap counts, but letting the quarterback just sling it. We're in a bad place.
We'll be having some Curtis Painter type stuff going on there.
Right. Last thing I wanted to say is, can Tua throw a football with a broken shoulder? Can Tua can Tua play through 3 broken ribs throughout the entire season? Can Tua get sacked 10 times in the game by the Minnesota Vikings and still get up?
Exactly.
And then get sacked 7 more times the next week, and then get sacked 7 more times the next week? Come on, man. What are we talking about? The main thing I like about Stafford is Iron Man ability. Can Tua play with a broken back? Like, what are we talking about? Like, and that's my point. My point has nothing to do with Tua talent. I think that dude, if he's healthy, he's going to be phenomenal. But that's a big if. And if you want to believe me that Tua can take being sacked 20 times in 3 weeks, I'm going to tell you to hit the door.
Man, if Stafford breaks a back, he's like, I got other parts of my spine. I'm good to go. And
Man, Stafford tried to play on his broken back this year.
He'll tuck and run over a linebacker. I don't see quarterbacks doing it in this league besides Stafford.
True.
And that's real. Let me switch subjects here because I've seen Don 19. And I think it's a good question. He says, "Okay, fellas, what if somebody wants Slay for a first?" And let's transition to this. First off, are you trading Slay? Because Slay just made a comment saying he wants to retire a Detroit Lion. Do we extend him? Do we trade him with this win now mandate? And if you do want to trade him, what would be the logical compensation? Andrew, what do you think about this?
Oh man, this one's definitely a hard one because Slay has been a top 10 quarterback every single year. I think if we were to trade him, we have to get at least a first round pick and a third, or maybe a first and a second, because you saw what Jalen Ramsey went for, and I do understand he's younger, but Slay has proven it year in and year out that he's good. And I think with what's going on with him and his injuries the last year or so, it would be good time to move on from him if we were to move on from him. And especially just with all the drama that went on, with him and Diggs and all that, I hated that we traded Diggs. But at the same time, like, dude, Slay, like, you're a Lion, like, you can't just start trash talking your team and saying, I don't care if I leave and whatever. And then a couple months later, the season's over and you didn't play that well. And now you're like, oh man, I want to retire a Lion. Like, dude, you can't flip back and forth. So, I mean, it comes down to it's a business. So if someone offered me a first and a third or something like that, I'm trading Slay.
That would be a hell of a deal, man. If they did that, I'd jump on it too. What say you, Andrew? Because we're in a win now mandate, and should we extend him? Should we just simply play out the contract? Should we trade him? If you want to trade, what would be the compensation you think we realistically get?
Who you said Andrew? Andrew just talked. Were you talking to me?
Oh yeah, you guys sound very similar.
We sync up. We sync up our voices. Yeah, but so I would take a first for sure, man. We've got him on contract for like one more year. Like, what are we really going to get out of him? And this is the time that we are going to have the most value for him for sure. Honestly, if we were talking last year, I would say I don't even know if we could get a first from it. He got into the Pro Bowl based off of his name, and I truly believe that. And I think we should capitalize on that and trade him for a first. Or honestly, if we can get anything close to a first, I would do that. But I would hate losing him because he's a great player. But I seriously think that cornerbacks decline after 30 years old, and we've already seen him decline, to be honest with you. And I think that this is the best time to capitalize on him. And I think he's probably going to walk next year because he doesn't even like Patricia's system. Glover Quinn was his boy, Quandre Diggs was his boy, and they're gone now. So he's upset about that, and I don't know. I think it'd be pretty smart to do that. Grab Chris Harris in the free agency and somebody else.
Now I'm gonna say there's two answers I'm gonna give to this question. For me personally, I would trade him and get as much value you can, because to me, he's not buying into what's taking place. However, the mandate was put on there. It's playoffs or bust. I don't believe they're going to deal him. Before the playoff and bust, I thought they would for sure. Once they said playoff or bust, I think they're just going to let him run the contract out, let him walk in free agency next year and receive a third round compensatory pick. When you're in a win now mandate, you don't want to get rid of a player like Slay, even though I think he's on the decline. I 100% agree. But at the end of the day, they need to have players on the field or else their jobs are going to be gone. What say you, JMO? What do you think is going to occur?
I think the Lions extend him. I don't think that, Slay made the Pro Bowl off of his name because, Xavier Rhodes made the Pro Bowl off his name. You can't really name me better cornerbacks than Slay in the NFC. You really can't. And it's hard to be a good cornerback when you got to cover for 8 seconds.
Yes.
So, I saw something from Slay in that last Packers game that gave me a little respect. He was clearly hurt, clearly limping, and he still was covering Devontae Adams, and Devontae didn't score a touchdown. To me, that's that's showing toughness. Of course, he might have did that for his paycheck, probably, but I literally saw Slade. He was hurt, and he still was covering Devontae freaking Adams. So to me, I think they do give him an extension. Not saying I necessarily want them to give him an extension, but I think they do give him an extension. And that's the way I think it's going to go because, Slade, I feel like, you traded away some of his friends and stuff, so he got emotional. But now he's thinking it through, and he doesn't want to leave here. We'll see what happens, but I think I think he stays on the team for sure.
And you have a really good perspective. If you all don't know, JMO works at Ford Field. He gets to be up close and personal with these guys. And I love his view because he's seeing stuff that we can't see on TV. He's got a whole different view. When I was with JMO and we were at practice there, when you're on the field, you have a whole different view than you're watching on TV. And his insight saying, hey, look, Slay was hurt. He was get out there. It wasn't fake. It was legit. And I take his word for it because he's there. Luke, what say you, man? We keep him, we let him go, or do we extend him?
Man, listen, when does Slay become worth a first round pick? Let's be honest. If anybody offer a first, don't you even blink or bet your eye twice. Get it and get it done quickly. He's not worth a first round pick. He's barely pushing for a second round pick. He's on the wrong side of the 20s. And on top of that, you have to look at the other side of it from this standpoint that I don't care if Slay is buying in or not. Your chance for your best value already passed once. If you get somebody to offer anything at a second, you sell that ship and you get them up out of here. There's some options I believe that can come in and do better than Slay would for a better asking price. If they extend them, cool. But I think what happened is this. I think Slay sat up there and was like, yeah, I want to retire a Lion because fans was getting on him. That's one. And two, I think somebody told him, hey, just be patient, man. We're going to pay you. We're going to pay you. But we need you to help us, help you, help us. And I think that's what they're doing. But the things that Richard Sherman said, that came from a place of personal. Like he was talking because he had been talking to somebody. Somebody knows something about something. And to me, I just don't see how if the opportunity come up for Slay to be traded, we pass on it. You have to go ahead and pull that trigger because he is, even if at best, if you say he comes in and we extend him, he's still on a decline. They just don't pan out like that as they get older at cornerback. And to me, you come in with a second, I'm taking that deal.
And this is why I said, man, I'm not happy with this. You got to go to the playoffs now mode, because that puts in question that you're playing for the next season in which, you want to win, but you also want to do what's best for the franchise. And sometimes, when it comes to draft,
hey, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did they say? I thought they said win now mode. I didn't think they said you make the playoffs.
They said make the playoffs. Become a playoff contender or you're gone. That's what it was said. And I was
basically, if we go 9-7 and miss the playoffs, second in the division, then Matt Patricia stays.
Yep.
when I was listening to Dave Burkett, his answer was very extreme, and he made it adamant when he was with there. You have to make the playoffs. And they said, well, what if you do 10 wins and you don't make the playoffs? He says, in my opinion, the way it was told to me, if they don't make the playoffs, they're gone. And he was very adamant about that. Whether that's true or not, I can't tell you because I wasn't there. I think if you won 10 games, in my opinion, even if you miss the playoffs, I think you should stay at that point because that's a pretty good record. And
oh God! No.
That 10 wins, man, going from 3-12-1 to 10.
Listen, that's like going from Holly Berry to Adele. Ain't nobody. Come on, man. Listen, he already started out rough. Now you want to hype? No, listen. They put letters out to season ticket holders saying that, they know it's not this, but we made strides, blah, 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 blah. They've made every excuse and trying to protect them for this decision to keep them. I do not see any reason other than the fact that, like J-Mo described, they go 9-7, he's staying. If they go 10-6, I'm still firing him because guess what? You went 10-6 and still didn't make the playoffs, and now you want me to sit through another season. I would have to see like a defense that was like unnatural, like that would rival what Jim Schwartz produced. I would have to see something like that. Then I'd probably be like, okay, cool. But I'm not gonna see that, and I'm not gonna see him get fired if he go 9-7. 10-6. Nah, come on.
9-7 and don't make the playoffs. I think you get fired. 10 wins. That's to go from 3-12-1 to 10 would be a giant jump. And interestingly enough, this is my next question that I wanted to talk about since we're talking about records. Given that the fact that the Lions coaching staff got major praise from the Senior Bowl, do you believe that the Detroit Lions can have a better record than 6-10? So basically double the wins. What say you, Andrew?
Well, first off, I think it was nice to see that there was players and there was other coaches and analysts that were saying that, Patricia did a great job coaching the game, coaching those players. They respected him. They liked playing for him, That's nice to see, because from what we hear from all the media and stuff, it's, Patricia's running the team ragged, he's working them too hard. He's making them run like, wow, big whoop. He's making them conditioned so that they're game ready. I think that it's a good thing to see, but I think that with all the changes that we're making in the offseason with coaching, as well as, we're getting half our team back from injury. We had 10 plus players that were starting players that were on IR, you factor in everything. I think that there is optimism, going into the next season just because of all the factors. Andrew.
Mm-hmm. And look,
Andrew.
Don't get Luke started on this, man.
Okay, Andrew, I love you, man, but hold on, man. How many players you say was on injury reserve?
Dude, there was at least 11 starting players were on IR this year.
All right, stay with me, Andrew. Stay with me. We put a dude on IR for a hamstring, bro. We put a dude on IR for a sprained ankle. Not a disrupted ankle. Not a complete tear. A sprained ankle.
It was a bad sprain, man. Come on.
It must have been real bad. I mean, he must have had an elephant walk on it. I mean, listen. Andrew, you do realize that they did that to create an excuse for Patricia because they knew that there was no way they can justify to ticket holders keeping this guy that they wanted to keep. Instead of them just saying that we want to keep coaching continuity, they placed everybody on IR. And they did it faster than they did with the guy with the broken back.
Oh, I agree, man. I totally agree. I mean, a lot of it is an excuse, but once your starting quarterback goes down, everyone else that was starting to get injured, even if it wasn't that major, they shut everybody down. You know what I'm saying? And when your starting quarterback goes down, you're losing unless you're the Saints, because obviously they freaking are unstoppable until they get to the playoffs. But I'm just saying, you get your starting quarterback back, all these other players, all their nagging injuries that they could potentially play through are fully healed, so they can go at 100%. It makes a big difference. Just like J-Mo was saying, Slay was able to play well against Devontae Adams, but imagine if he was fully healthy, how much better he could have played, So
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, listen, I'm with you. I'm just listening to what some of these people are saying. When you got players saying, I ain't coming here to get ran to the dirt, but then all of a sudden they get ran to the dirt and they getting hurt more. Okay, I'm with you. But when you said that, I thought to myself, but we was putting people on injury reserve with hangnails. I'm not sure what how legitimate IR is anymore when you just putting them on there because.
Well, we wanted a tank. We needed a tank.
Well, they tanked all right, I guess.
Ben Diesel says, get dose of Dion next round table. He's a great Lions channel. Yeah, man, look, he's always welcome. But the issue is our round tables is when he is in college. He does night schooling. And so that's why you don't see him on here a lot. When we usually get Dion on, it's probably on a day he's not at school. So yeah, he's always welcome. Man Beast Morris, I'm in communication with him. I know he wants to get on sometime this week. And yeah, they're all welcome. Everyone's welcome when it comes to Detroit Lions talk. Real. Give us a real answer about this. What we just talked about.
Man, what are we talking about here? 6-10? What are we here for? If we don't think we're going 6-10, why are we even here on this roundtable right now? Like, seriously, I'm here because I believe in our team, and I want our team to succeed. I don't think that we're going to go 6-10 or worse. Come on, seriously. If I actually thought we were going 6-10, dude, I'd be checked out by now. We wouldn't have gone 6-10 if Stafford played the whole season. We probably would have won 3 more games after Stafford went down if we weren't tanking, to be completely honest with you. Like, a lot of those games, it really seemed like we wanted to lose. And as Luke brought up, we were throwing guys on IR for no reason. Look, we did not want to win those games. It was clear as day. And I didn't want to win those games because I wanted the 3rd overall pick or something like that. And we got it. So we're going to add an impact player in the draft. We're going to spend some money in free agency, hopefully have a year like we did when we grabbed Kennard and we grabbed Okawara from the Giants, and they played pretty decently well that year when we grabbed them. I hope we grab some impact players like that are not on a lot of people's radar. And I really hope that we refill the ranks in our team and we have a real run in Detroit. I don't even want to hear the word. I don't want to hear anyone on this roundtable say that we're going to go 6-10. Like, come on, man.
And that's why Luke is coming next. Because
I'm about to say, well, Luke, you might as well lead a roundtable.
Listen, look.
I'm making Luke next.
Mute Luke.
I'm gonna make
Jesus.
Luke.
He said mute him. Oh my God.
I'm gonna start calling Luke Pessimist Lions Luke.
Now, what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen here is Luke's gonna go next, so he can bring it down a little bit. Then I'm gonna throw it to JMO and bring hope to you guys.
That's how we got to get it, man. Let's get it, man. Listen, people. All right. I love you. I love you all. Real, I love you. Andrew, I love you. Mike, I love you. Okay. J-Mo, I love you. Subscribers in the chat, my Lions fan, Prinage, I love you. 6-10, people. 6-10. The question has always been for me, what are we doing to win the division first? And when I go through and I look at every single process of what needs to be done to win a division, I see that sometimes we make those moves to get the division won. But there's this one constant that just keeps happening, and it's the head coach. Players not being in position. We talked about it earlier. When are we going to get the ball to Jesse James? When are we going to get more than 2 tight end sets? These are things that are coaching issues. Now, I'm going to leave it right there with that. Do I see us going above 6-10? Nope. Probably not. Can I bend to say we could make it over 6-10? Absolutely. But 10 wins? No. 9? No. 8? Maybe. With prayer. I just look at it and I say to myself that we're on this table for one reason and one reason only, to tell the people the truth. The truth hurts sometimes. The truth is not always kind. And the truth is that I personally have not seen anything from our head coach that lets me feel confident enough to give us more than 6 wins. Not based on what the history has shown, not based on what I have seen him do. He may be the best damn college coach you ever seen. I think he did a very good job in a short week. But when it comes to coaching these grown men with kids and bills, I'm not seeing it. And I just hope that I'm wrong. I'm praying that I'm wrong. But my spirit can't get past the flaws that I see in his coaching. And I would have to see him make a huge jump in his coaching. And that don't happen. I mean, hell, Andy Reid took years before he figured it out.
Buffed
but
up.
He figured it out.
Buffed up says, let's get it. When Buffed Up is saying there's more hope than Luke G, you know that I think he needs a Corona, and I'm talking about Luke G because buffed up is rags on the Lions all the time. J-Mo, bring the spirits up.
Luke was saying, I hope I'm wrong. You are.
I appreciate it.
I can't sing really well, but I'm gonna just give you this little rendition. Put some respect on Stafford's name. Put some respect on Stafford's name. Put some respect on Stafford's name. Matthew Stafford
Exactly.
has never since 2012. A healthy Matthew Stafford has never won less than 7 games, ever since 2012. So we can put that to bed.
I gave him 7.
Yeah. See, that's the main reason why I always have hope every season, because I'll say it and I'll say it again. We win 8 or 9 games last year. Easy.
That's that about Stafford, though. Patricia has not won more than 6 games.
Yeah, but see, Stafford hasn't been healthy.
I know. Yeah, facts. I'm with you, man.
Like if Matthew Stafford is healthy, we'll win 8 or 9 games next year, and I'm very, very confident in that. And yeah, we're not gonna this all depends on Stafford's health, like everything. So, but if he's healthy, I could see us winning. I ain't gonna say 11 games. That's crazy talk. 10 games max, but we probably go 8-8, maybe 7-9. But as long as Stafford is healthy, sky's the limit. It's about to be year 2 of the offense. TJ will be better. Kenny Golladay will be even better. Carry-on hopefully will be healthier with Bo. Our defense can't get any worse, so it will improve. You know, it's a lot of things to look, and then we have a chance to draft Isaiah Simmons, and we got a lot of room to overpay for some players. But as long as Stafford is healthy, I can't see us winning less than 8 games. I'm just being honest.
Man, look.
Hey, y'all gotta remember, like, we got swept by the Bears, and each game we lost by 1 point. Like, come on.
Hey, J-Mo, when we get off here, I'm gonna need you to give me some of them edibles you got going on over there. I need some of that.
But I just need you to show me the season where Stafford was fully healthy and we won 6 games.
No,
listen. I just don't see okay.
I saw Stafford carry Jim Caldwell with 8 freaking fourth quarter comebacks. Shout out to Matt Prater. I watched him carry a trash coach. I watched him do it for 3 years.
But we're not talking about Stafford cannot overcome bad coaching. No player can.
Well, when it comes to winning a championship or a playoff game, yeah. But when it comes to winning in the regular season, he's literally done it before. He's done it already. Like, he's literally done it.
I hope I'm wrong. I'm praying.
You are. If Stafford's healthy, there's no way we're winning 6 games, man. I put $100 on it.
Okay.
Like, if he's healthy, we're not winning 6 games.
This is what I'm going to do with the over and under. I am not going to make a prediction because I look like a dumbass this last year, and I got killed. I do not know what's going to take place during this season. I just want to win the next game. That is my prediction. Just win the next one. I don't want to make a prediction because maybe I screwed the Lions over with my prediction, and karma bit me in my ass because I look like a real idiot.
Man, I mean, listen, let's be honest, man. We all love this team. Like, we love football. We love the sport, and we have a passion for it. This is why we're here. This is why this roundtable is formed. This is why we're talking about it. You know, and when we come on here, we're taking it from a place like we're not just a casual fan who just decided let's get on YouTube and make some video. That's not what we're doing here, people. We came on here with insight and different perspectives, and we're looking at things in an objective way to see, like, okay, what's going on. I do understand what Real say, like, if we're not expecting them to have it, I'm big on expectations. That's why I'm disappointed, because my expectations were high. To the people who had low expectations, you should be ecstatic that they met your expectations. You know, nobody gets mad at their kid that comes in there with all A's. You know what I mean? They only get mad when they come in with F's and D's and an occasional E. I hear they do E's now, so it's been a while. But to me, this team has no real ceiling to be guaranteeing anything or saying sky's the limit on when you've had 2 seasons of less than mediocrity. We just can't do that.
And you're talking about grades A, B, C, and D. I just want D for
But
defense.
context is everything, though. Stafford hasn't been healthy.
Yes.
If
And-
Stafford was healthy, the first season, we probably win 7 or 8 games. This year, we win 8 games. Like, that's for real.
Luke, when you look at the beginning of the season, right? Look, you can't say the first 5 games we are like a handful of plays away. I know that it doesn't matter because it is what it is, and the record speaks for itself. But you can't say we weren't a handful of ways to being 5-0 to begin this season. We should have beat Arizona. We beat the Chargers. We beat Philly. We would have beaten Kansas City if Galladay tackled that guy, or if Kerryon didn't fumble on the goal line and it was taken 100 yards back for a touchdown. We would have beat Green Bay if the refs weren't cheating. Those were straight up cheating refs. We would have started 5-0. I know that we didn't, and I know that I might be talking a little bit out of pocket, but I'm dead serious. Like, we were good enough to be 5-0, and then once that happened, our team was demoralized from those losses, especially after Green Bay, when the refs literally took the game away from us. We went in and lost. We got embarrassed by Minnesota, and then that's when Stafford got hurt. That the end of our season was there. After that, the whole season's trash in the garbage. But before that, we had the promise. Like, we were rising up the power rankings. People were looking at us. It wasn't because we weren't 5-0, but people saw us and said we should be 5-0. We should be better than our record because we were performing to that standard. And I have high hopes for next season. I will put money on it that we're not going to go 6-10 or worse.
Lucky for you and J-Mo, I am a betting man. And I'm gonna take them bets because I just see it now. You're right. We should have been, could have been. In fact, before the season even started, I had us only losing 1 game in that first stretch. Literally, I had us beating Kansas City. I had us beating the Cardinals. I had us possibly losing to the Eagles. What I did not expect to see was a tie against the Cardinals. I did not expect to see us barely beat a ailing Chargers team. Okay? We won on the road against the Eagles. Good. I did not, the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I did a video afterwards that showed that we are not the same old Lions, right? Then we get a bye week and go against the Green Bay Packers, and while you blame the referees, I blame the team. Because field goals ain't never won nothing.
Hey,
you got to score touchdowns.
Hey, tell that to the Baltimore Ravens.
Don't want to cut you guys off real quick, but Andrew has to leave. And before when he gets off, I want to give him last words really quick to the audience, and then we can keep moving forward. Go ahead, man. Andrew, what's up, man? Still in here? Okay, maybe not.
He may have already left.
So I'm not going to give a prediction, and I'm going to just do it that way because I look like a fool. And, when I watch, I'm very, when it comes to Lions, every time I wear my Stafford jersey, I do really bad, and then I throw it in anger, and then they win the game. So I'm going to continue to do that and see the over and under of throwing the jersey if we can finally get more wins. But, man, I just don't want to do predictions. There's a really, really, really good article right on Pride of Detroit, and I had a chance to read it. If you have not read it, make sure you go on Pride of Detroit. It's talking about how the Lions have a major advantage this offseason compared to rest of the NFC North. And it's talked about how our situation is 4th best in the NFL because our cap is 48.4 in cap space, and we have great spots in the draft, and the Vikings are in cap hell. The Bears don't have many draft picks, and they're in issues with cap. And Green Bay is only 26 in cap and obviously have late picks. With this big advantage, do you believe that we can capitalize and really do well here when it comes to that? Luke, with the advantage we got, how well will it help us get back in the NFC North?
I believe if you get all the right people in play, that you can do some things. I think having a large amount of cap on a desperate year scares the crap out of me, but I think that our situation is one of the best because you have a pick that is probably at its most value at 3, and you have the cap space to go out and add some key components to this team that can be main staples for at least another 2 years. But there are some people who are somehow leapfrogged us and have talent too, and they're going to re-up too. So I guess the way I'm looking at it is like this. If I see them making moves that is going to target us being a better run first team, my optimism will go up. But if I see them making moves that is going to be much of the same 45, 50 passes a game, then I can't get jiggy with it. I can't get jiggy with that stuff, and I have to be able to be for real about it and say, I don't know if we got the best situation or not, because one part of that formula should be our coaching staff and general manager, and how a person needs to feel that whoever, is here got confidence in them.
I'm going to answer this question really quick for One Pride 4. You've been very patient. He says we're gonna draft a back. This is the scenario in which I do think we would draft a running back, is if we traded back with Miami and picked up extra, maybe 2 second-round picks. I think at that point, then you can go ahead and do a luxury pick with running back. If one is J.K. Dobbins, is there someone else they're looking for? But if we don't have more draft picks, I don't see us taking a running back unless it's way late in the draft. Real, with the advantages that we got in the NFC North, it was such a good article. How can this improve our team and our chances to do much better in the NFC North and be a competitor?
Yeah, I think the draft pick really is a big advantage, obviously. And we talked about it on the last roundtable. I think it's the most valuable pick in the draft just because of where we are and where teams are that might want a quarterback. So we might be able to trade back and grab a lot of draft capital in that situation and possibly be able to fill multiple holes with cheap top-tier talent in the first 2 rounds of the draft. That's where I think that our big upside and advantage is. I said it before and I'll say it again. I just want to temper the expectations of free agency because, yes, we have 50 million. There's 2 different reports. 43 million is one report. 50 million is the other report for how much cap space we have. We have a lot of places to sign. We have a lot of players leaving, starters that we have to fill. It's going to be very difficult. And then on top of that, we have people on expiring contracts that are on cheap rookie deals that we're going to have to extend and make very expensive. That's going to take that. So a small portion of the cap that was usually allocated to those players is going to be a larger portion. So I don't really think that we have a ton of money to go and spend another 90 million on free agency. And then also, I talked about this again, but Trey Flowers, Justin Coleman, these guys, in a year, we're going to have to pay Trey Flowers $20 million plus a year because we only paid $6 million for him last year because his deal was completely backloaded. So I don't see how we can make big splashes in free agency like some people might think we can just because they see the big number of 50 million. But I do think we can go and grab a bunch of impact players, just maybe not the flashiest names. So I do think that we can refill our stock with the cap that we have, but I think the biggest advantage is that draft, and hopefully we could trade back and get some extra picks in the top 2 rounds so we could get that cheap top tier talent.
Folks, it is your time to ask us questions. When you have a chance, go ahead and put it in there. And after I speak about this question, I'll throw it to JMO next. When I think of the advantage we got, it's not just the spots throughout the draft. I think with a 3rd overall pick is the most valuable pick in this year's draft. And with teams such as Miami, San Diego, really wanting to get a quarterback, I think they're willing to trade up to the Lions. I think we can make a deal with Miami and getting extra picks. getting those extra picks will be a giant advantage because we can get more players on the field that fits the system, more players, more of a chance to do well. And I want to see us get more draft capital. That third pick is so valuable, extremely valuable. I am so excited that we got it because we can turn this pick into many, many more picks or even a higher first round pick in there. So we have a huge advantage. Let's say you, JMO, with the advantage we have against the NFC North in our draft spots and money, how is that going to impact our team, and can it take us in a direction we need to go to compete in the North?
Well, for one, I'm not gonna say we got any advantage. I'm gonna leave it at that. Also, I trust Bob Quinn in free agency. He's been very good in free agency every single year. Always gets a great player for us. So I'm not necessarily concerned about that. And with our draft situation, I'm very optimistic about this offseason, to be honest with you. I think we'll make some good additions, add some solid pieces to bolster the team. And I do think the team will be a little bit better. But I'm not really worried about Bob Quinn in free agency. He's delivered, in my opinion.
Yeah, look.
But what Will was saying about having to sign a Kenny Galladay and other players like that will matter.
For sure.
I'm just praying that we get Byron Jones, man. I really hope Byron Jones hits the market and the Lions target him. I think he's an underrated cornerback / defensive back because he can play safety, he can play corner, he can play man, he can play zone, and he's not afraid to tackle. For me, advantages are when you. I put it this way: the best advantages are often gained from those who know how to manage the opportunity. In other words, if you know how to manage the money, you get all the advantages you need. And if you don't manage that money, you can forget about the advantages.
And here's a question here from Don. What do you think about Anthony Gandy? I think he's a late round prospect. He's big. He is a giant. If they want to take a wide receiver late in the draft, whether it be like a 6th round pick or a 7th round pick, I think that's a good idea because obviously Marvin Jones Jr., I think this is his last year as a Detroit Lion, and we need to think about getting another wide receiver. He's 6'4". I think he's around 220 pounds. He's a big guy. He's got a big wingspan. So if they decide to take a wide receiver in the later round, that would be okay with me. I'm not upset taking a wide receiver in the later rounds. Not in the first part, but if we can get a big guy in there and has the ability then to catch more touchdowns, the red zone, that always helps us out for sure. Let's see. What is the next question here? What about drafting? Not sure exactly what you mean when it comes to the draft. Okay, if Chase Young, here's a good one, is available at 3, would you want to trade down?
I can't wait to hear J-Mo and Mike answer on this one. Lord Jesus. Let me hold on. Let me get my popcorn ready. Wait, what? What'd you say?
No, I'm taking Chase Young. I think he's a difference maker. We need help on the defensive line. I think it's important to have, if you can get a player to that caliber, why not? I understand he's more of a 4-3 instead of a 3-4, but he's such a big talent. I think he would absolutely help this defensive line out if we can get pressure. We've seen it in the Senior Bowl. You win games. You win games through the defensive line. He is a playmaker. He is strong. He is fast. His hand movement is fantastic. And man, just imagine giving quarterbacks not 8 seconds. The secondary can do a lot of turnovers. I think he would be a great pick if he fell. I don't think he's fallen though. I'm pretty damn sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JMO.
Well, Isaiah Simmons is my number 1 pick, but Chase Young there, I'm taking him. Just like Mike said, like I reiterate everything he just said. I still think, like I said, Isaiah Simmons is the number 1 guy I want, but man, Chase Young the real deal. It's just I keep watching tape. I keep watching games. This dude is an absolute beast. And, I just don't think you could pass on a player like that unless you take Isaiah Simmons. So if he falls, I'm definitely taking him.
To me, I can think he would remind me of when we got Ndamukong Suh It just not. Let me iterate.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
When we got Ndamukong Suh, we got a ruthless individual on the defensive line that scared quarterbacks. It did. Right now, we don't have that. No quarterback is scared of our defensive line. If you can get a individual on that line that would put the fear of death in quarterbacks, that's invaluable. Is he as talented in Ndamukong Suh? Well, Ndamukong Suh is a defensive tackle. It's different. But in the sense of he would put fear in the quarterbacks and teams would have to game plan around him. And then you have Trey Flowers on the other side who was averaging 1 sack a game when he started getting healthy by the end of the year. I think it would be awesome to have. Now, Luke, go ahead and destroy my guy.
No, we're gonna let Real go next. I want Real to go next. When you compare Chase Young and Ndamukong Suh, I just think that's no way. But Real.
But Luke, I feel like if he said that about Nick Bosa last year, you would have said the same thing. Look at Nick Bosa.
Real.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, because I heard you destroyed Nick Bosa last year. You destroyed Nick Bosa, and look at him now. That's all I'm saying. And he broke the sack record for Ohio State. Like, that's a different kind of guy.
Yeah. Real. The floor is yours.
Yeah. It'd be hard to pass on him, but I mean, I'm gonna give the political answer for real, because it really matters on what is being offered here. Like if Miami really wants Chase Young or really wants a quarterback and they're offering all 3 of their first round picks, I'm taking all 3 of their first round picks, but
okay.
Yeah. But I wouldn't take, I don't know if I like the Jets when they went from 5 to 3 or whatever they went and they gave 3 second round picks. See, that would be a little more difficult. Like if that's the best option on the table, I might want to take Chase Young because, we could fill more holes in the second round. But, like, maybe this guy is that difference maker. Maybe this guy is the next Nick Bosa. And if we pass on him, that'll be the nail in the coffin for Bob Quinn.
Luke?
All right.
Hold up, Luke. Hold up. Come on, man. Y'all got to watch games. Ghost Gunner says, I'll break the Ohio State sack record if I had to go against Rutgers and Miami. He had 3 sacks against Penn State, and he had 3 sacks against Wisconsin. He destroyed Michigan as well. But it's cool. Let's not do that.
Michigan.
Yeah, after they stopped double teaming him, he was wreaking havoc.
Okay.
Luke?
The question was, if Chase Young is on the board, would you guys still trade down or take Chase Young? And like Real, let's be for real. If the deal comes up a first and a second, we move from 3 to 5, I'm absolutely trading down. Okay? I'm absolutely trading down. I get more picks and I still get to get a player who I think is going to have a bigger impact for his team in Isaiah Simmons. If you're telling me that I'm sitting there and Chase Young is the guy, we have to stop with this. Let's find the next Nick Bosa. Let's find the next. We don't need to find the next nobody. We need to be able to find our originators. Okay? Chase Young has disappeared in many games, including the Wisconsin game. And he didn't start performing until the score got ran up by J.K. Dobbins and Fields. When the offense put points up and Wisconsin couldn't run that ball no more, and I guess that's when he got his shine on. Stop this noise. Michigan, he wreaked havoc.
Did you even watch the game?
He wreaked.
In the first quarter, he had 2 sacks.
He wreaked havoc against Michigan. Okay? That's what you said. He wreaked havoc against Michigan.
After they stopped double teaming.
He didn't register a stat.
You know good and well, sacks is not the only indication.
No. Not sacks. A stat. As in a digital number. He didn't get not one single digital number in that game. Not a tackle, not a chin check, not a penalty. Nothing.
Luke, it's going to be so funny when Chase Young is a beast. I'm going to be on you all year. Like, for real.
Be on me.
I am.
The Wisconsin game, and now don't get me twisted because I always get Wisconsin and Nebraska confused because they both red and white. And there's a lot to remember. But the Wisconsin game, that's the one with Jonathan Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't perform into the second half.
I'm talking about, I don't know if you're talking about the second. I'm talking about the first Wisconsin game. Chase Young had 2 sacks in the first quarter and a fourth.
Oh, you talking about the first one? Okay,
yeah,
you talking about the first
sack.
one.
And
Yeah, but here's the
what do
thing.
you mean? It's the same team. They saw him twice. They was able to play him a little bit better. Like he destroyed
but here's
that
the thing,
team.
though. But here's the thing, though.
And he destroyed Penn State.
He is not somebody that you refuse to accept more draft picks for because he's that good. He's not that guy.
I didn't say all of that.
You did. You said you're taking.
No, I
Chase
said
Young
if
and not
he's
trading
at
down.
3. I didn't say if he's at 3 and we get offered 3 first-round picks. If he's at 3,
I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
But I just want everybody to know. Luke just said Chase Young is not that guy. Let's mark this today.
Yes, mark that down.
Let's remember.
Mark that down. Listen.
Let's remember.
Down.
Chase Young is not that guy.
Listen,
okay?
He is not that guy that you sit up there and pass on trading down to bring to your team. He's not that guy. I'm sorry. He's not. If you bring Chase Young here, you bring him here. But if you're telling me that I have opportunity to move down to 5 and pick up extra picks, I'm taking that deal. Chase Young, he's not the player for me to stop me from taking that deal. And the question was, would you still trade down or take Chase Young? I'm telling you, you trade down. Chase Young's not that guy.
That wasn't the question. The question was if Chase Young was at 3, would you take him?
No, it wasn't.
Question. Yes, it was, Mike.
Hold on, Mike. What was the
question?
Mike,
ask the question.
I have to look exactly at it. Just take a minute while you guys talk.
I think it was, would you still trade down?
Okay, well, just let me see really, really quick. Just keep talking. I'm going to go through.
Here's the question. If Chase Young is available at 3, would you still want to trade down? This from Marcus Willis. And you said, no, you taking Chase Young. And I said, he ain't and I repeated the question on purpose and that's why Real even said no, because if it's a crazy thing like 3 firsts, I ain't even need 3 firsts. I just need to be able to trade down to 5 and pick up extra picks in any form or fashion. Chase Young, if I miss Chase Young, I am not going to be sad. Now, if he was in Dominican Suit and somebody want to trade down, I'm sitting at 3, I ain't moving because he's that guy. He's worth that kind of talent. Suit don't even got to register a single sack. They just afraid of him. But Chase Young, to me, I'll trade down, take my extra picks, and take Isaiah Simmons and get the player that's supposed to come in and do what he needs to do. But that's the question. It was not who you taking at 3 if Chase Young is there. No.
Look, if he's anything like Bosa, and I think he can even be better,
he's better than Bosa.
That is a piece that can be a dynamic player for you. He had 16.5 sacks first in college. This is a stat you don't hear a lot. He had 6 forced fumbles. That's intense, man. 6 forced fumbles. I love that. Getting the turnover, that's second best in college. I think he's going to be a stud. He is going to be a stud. Now, if they offered 3 first-round picks, well, of course, I'm taking that.
Right. No, and nobody's going to deny 3.
That's an absurd
nobody's going to deny 3 first-round picks for Chase Young. Come on.
Yeah. That would be. But
we weren't denying 3 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford. Like, come on. If we're not giving that up for Stafford, like, we would trade Stafford for 3 first-round picks. Like,
I mean, listen. I just, like I said, and I stand with Marcus Landon. Chase Young not better than Bosa. It's not happening.
No, he's better than Bosa.
Okay. Okay.
Hey man, ain't none of us Ohio State fans. I talk to Ohio State fans, man.
Listen, I ain't got to be an Ohio State fan. I told you I watch film. I don't do all this other stuff. I watch the film.
Yeah, but you say you watch film, but you ignore the Penn State and Wisconsin games where he completely dominated teams with offensive linemen that are going to make the NFL.
What linemen coming out of Penn State in the first round?
I didn't say first round. I said offensive linemen that are going to make the NFL. That's
okay, all right. If those offensive linemen was about that life, they first round picks. I don't hear nobody talking about no Penn State linemen in the first round.
But that doesn't diminish what he's doing. He's dominating NFL talent.
I'm not diminishing what he's doing. What I'm saying is this. The question was, would you still want to trade down? Yes. You said no. Mike said no. I'm trading down. Now I'm not holding fast for Chase Young. Even Real said no. I'm trading down. He said I'll take him, but if he can beat that Bosa guy, but I believe he's not better than Bosa. And my problem with Bosa was I'm like he stayed hurt all the time, and he's been healthy. Strange as it sounds.
What player do you think the Lions are shopping around on to acquire or to shopping or player to acquire or one of our players getting sent away? I couldn't tell you who they would acquire in a trade because I don't know, man. It kind of comes out of nowhere, but players that they could trade away this year, man, I don't see they're going to be doing a whole lot of trading players this year.
Slay is possibly one.
I personally think they're not going to due to the win now mentality. I think
that's a good point.
If that win mentality wasn't there, I'd say yes, Slay, probably trade Slay and maybe even a Marvin Jones. But with the win now mode, I think you just got to keep the players that you have because you have to win. You have to win. Let's see. Where's another question here? Who's better, Bob Quinn or Martin Mayhew? Man, we know real? Matt Millen's better than all of them.
One Pride 40, you stop playing with us, man.
You know what? This is interesting because I felt like Martin Mayhew did good when he got free agents, and I feel like Bob Quinn does great when it comes to the NFL draft because he finds guys in the mid rounds. So, if you can get both intermixed and have great free agents as well as great draft picks, that would be great. But they all have their benefits. Martin Mayhew.
Bob Quinn has had some very good free agents. So.
Yeah, he has too. But I think Martin Mayhew did a fairly good job with the free agents. Getting Reggie Bush at the time was great. Let's see. He got, I can't even remember everyone. Nate Burleson at the time. Wasn't Sims a guard that he got as well, a left guard that did fairly well. I think he did well. But when it comes to draft, I felt like he sucked. He dropped you up when it comes to Aaron Donald.
Hey, Mike, I want to answer this. One Pride 40 said, didn't you say Khalil Hodge was a first-round pick? I did not say he's a first-round pick. I said if I was put out there and I had to take one player who I believe can come in and help, and it's Khalil Hodge, I'm taking that. Just because a player does not get drafted does not mean that they're not that good. Let's be honest. We do this every year. We act as if though something don't happen. Devin Ozigbo was one of the most dynamic running backs that came out last year. He didn't get drafted. Okay. There were so many. Bo Ben Schwar was a good guard. He didn't get drafted. Arian Foster didn't get drafted. You know how many undrafted players were really good, i.e. Snacks Harrison? This is not the first time we have a history of undrafted people who has performed. Khalil Hodge to me was a guy that they didn't draft. NFL teams didn't like his pedigree. But there are people, not just even in football, but in basketball, who have passed on talented people because they didn't have the circuit behind them. A lot of this stuff, people don't realize that these football stuff, all these players we hear about is full politics because most of the players that come out of Detroit, Nick Perry, when he came out of Detroit, you heard the buzz in Detroit and Detroit only. When he went to USC, he went there and walked on. USC wasn't looking at Nick Perry. They weren't thinking about Nick Perry. And they were still quiet on Nick Perry until that senior year when the buzz came around. And a lot of this stuff is politics. But if a player don't get drafted, I'm not going to act like they're not a talented player. Let's stop that noise. We're not going to do that. We got one on our squad now. It would be disrespectful to act as if though that since the person didn't get drafted, that they're not a quality player. That's just unreal. It's not for real at all. It's not realistic.
There's a question in there, not this one, that says, how do you feel about the new linebackers coach? Rewind the round table when we are done because we talked about it. All of us got a pretty good perspective on that one. So make sure, go ahead and rewatch it when we're done. One Pride says, how many players will we draft from the Senior Bowl? You know what? I think they're going to get quite a bit of players from the Senior Bowl. Maybe you'll see guys in the later rounds that other scouts have not seen and maybe get passed up. But I love the idea of getting a hands-on look of prospects in the huddle that they don't get to see how they train. So I think we'll get quite a few. I'm not sure how many. I don't even know how many draft picks we're going to have because I think we do trade down, but I could see us taking, 3 players there from the Senior Bowl. Be a good idea here. Let's see. Don Fellas says, how you feel about our schedule with the NFC South and AFC South? How I feel, I'm scared shitless. Because that is a brutal AFC South, Tennessee Titans. We've seen what the Texans can do. It's a strong division there, man, in the NFC South as well. Saints, they're probably going to bring back Drew Brees. The Falcons was doing well at the end of the season. And we all know what's going on with Tampa Bay. They're getting better. It's going to be a really difficult schedule. So that question was for Luke. Oh, sorry about that then. Let's do extend Galladay now. We'll make this the last question quick. Let's see. Would you...
Hey, Mike, before you make the last question, make Truth tell us the question, what he got for me.
Okay, go ahead.
His question is, if I told you a defensive rookie was going to get 7 sacks, 50 tackles, 8 for a loss, and 2 forced fumble, would you have drafted him? Based on those stats? No. The film tells me how to draft a player. The film tells me what he's going to be able to do and what he's capable of. I don't care what those stats say, because those stats will have to show me something on the film, i.e., he can mess around and get 7 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss, and we messed around and played a trash team, 2 trash teams, 3 trash teams. The New England Patriots are the New England Patriots because they have played in the weakest division the entire time. The only time they had any challenge came from Rex Ryan when he was on the Jets. Dolphins, every once in a while, sneak up on them and catch them slipping. But just like always, they falter, and New England gets an easy coast to the division. Don't care about those numbers. What I care about is what the film say, and I always go by that. And when I watch the film and I can't name the guy on Michigan who's getting ready to get drafted in the first round who keeps him out, I'm sorry, I'm going to look at that and say he's not polished. He's not that type of guy for me to sit fast on and not trade. So to answer your question, nope. What the film says what I'll do is draft him. And Marcus, I do have a film study for Bradley. It's coming. I'm just trying to let Super Bowl stuff get through.
Quentin Nelson, I see here we're talking about a trade to get him on the team. Man, I would want a little bit more if you're going to go from 3-13, actually quite a bit more. But if you could pick up many more picks, pick up the guard. He's only 23 years old, so that would be good, just depending on how many other draft picks you're going to get. Folks, we've been on nearly 2 hours, and it is that time to do our last words. And I want to send this to Mr. Real. What do you got to say to the chat?
Man, look. If you are a real Detroit Lions fan, I want you to join the cause right now. I am dead serious. I do not want just anybody to join my channel. My channel is an exclusive community of real Detroit Lions fans, not fair weather fans, not people that just look at the stats and yell at Matt Stafford or whoever. I'm talking about real Detroit Lions fans. I want you to subscribe. I want you to comment on my videos, and I want to have an open communication. We are a community. We are one pride, and we have to stick together. Thank you guys for having us on the show. Thank you for including Andrew as well. I know that he didn't get to say his goodbyes, but I really appreciate being on these roundtables, and I want to be on many more.
Folks, I put his link to his channel. I see he's got 127 subs. Man, let's get him some more subs. If you ain't subbed, click that link, hit it, subscribe, jump back in, and we'll go forward. It's all about one pride, exactly like you said. J-Mo, what do you got to say to the folks?
I really don't have much to say. I've said all I've said. One, sadly, Calvin Johnson has moved his way out of my heart. He's not my favorite Detroit Lion anymore.
Come on, J-Mo.
No, I'm sick. Look, man, you don't know how much I love Calvin Johnson. but I'm sick of it. Like that little interview was the final straw. I'm not rocking with him. I'm not claiming him as my favorite Detroit Lion no more. Also, I do like the hire of the linebackers coach. I think that was a big deal, and I do think the Lions will be better than 6-10 next year if Stafford is healthy. And that's all I got, man. Shout out to all of the people in the chat. It's good to be back with y'all and talk some Lions football. But we'll see what we do in the draft and stuff because I'm so tired of it's a lot of Lions fans that want us to draft Jeffrey Okudah, and I just don't understand why. And it's not like, look, Jeffrey Okudah is amazing. Like, I've watched him. Like, he is the real deal. But drafting a cornerback at 3 just don't make sense. That's all I got to say.
Luke, tell the folks.
Hey, as always, man, y'all know I love it. I love it when we can have this community thing. I know people think I'm crazy. It's not. I see Seth Brown question, would you trade back with the Colts if Quentin Nelson is part of it? Yes. You put Quentin Nelson in that deal, yes, you can move up to 3. Give me 13 and Quentin Nelson, you can go to 3. Yes, I will pull that trigger on that in a heartbeat. Listen, it's always fun, man. It's fun to have them on. I appreciate you, Real, and Andrew for coming on. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. J-Mo, love you, man. I know J-Mo gonna always make sure he keep me in check. I respect that. And Mike make sure he keeps me in check as well. So it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to always try to end things on a good note. Real swift thing is this. Life minutes matter. Don't try to count them. Just live them. And remember that they do have value. With that being said, please make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA and make sure that you subscribe to the real Lions fan because it's like he says, it's an exclusive club for those real Lions fans, not those bandwagon hop on when it's going good, not those I need to fall in love with them when they are special and running up the dynasty. Real ones. And if at all nothing else, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
I will get my mock draft out there, guys. I've been working on it tirelessly. It was going to be out yesterday, but the worst damn luck happened. I recorded it. It was about a 50-minute record about all the prospects, went into explicit detail about them, like a micro look. That's my name. That's what I do. But unfortunately, my voice got screwed up in it, and I have to redo this damn thing again. I spent 20 hours on it last week, and to find out that the voice was not right, man, it was frustrating. But I will get that done this weekend, have it out there. The mock draft is not just saying for, one specific team. Listen to the whole thing because we don't know who we're going to get. And I do go into explicit detail, and it will be fun. It definitely will be fun. I appreciate you guys showing out. Very humbling. Awesome. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so before you leave. That'll make me put a smile on my face, and I like to smile. So with that said, folks, adios.